我现在所在的位置呢是亚的斯亚贝巴郊区的恩托托山上，目前的海拔是3200米左右。我身后的这个建筑呢是亚的斯亚贝巴最早的教堂，圣玛丽教堂。大家看到这个形状有点特别啊，它是一个八角形的形状，是个圆形的形状。这是因为埃塞俄比亚信奉的是正教啊 ，Orthodox。它是古老的天主教的分支，叫埃塞俄比亚正教。实际上，埃塞俄比亚呢是，世界上最早信奉天主教的国家之一啊，从公元4世纪开始就信教了。那他们也认为自己是以色列人，所罗门王朝的后代，所以骨子里认为自己是白人，啊，就是这么有优越感。当然，今天我们讲的不仅仅是最早的教堂，我们也想聊一聊埃塞俄比亚最早的孵化器iceaddis。那等一下呢，我去和他的这个创始人Markos 去聊一聊。非程创新带你看非洲创投。大家好，我是李渤海。iceaddis 是埃塞俄比亚最早的互联网孵化器。是2011年就成立了。那么它的创始人叫 Markos Lemma， 也是埃塞创投圈非常有名的人物。那么经过了9年的时间，10年的时间，埃塞俄比亚的这个市场环境发生了哪些巨变？目前有哪些赛道和这个机会正在爆发？还有就是本地的孵化器在这个过程中它的重要作用是什么？那我们来听一听 Markos 怎么讲。
Okay, let's start the conversation.
Yep.
Hi, Markos.
Hello. How are you?
Good. And maybe you can have a very brief introduction of what you're doing here.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. And so my name is Markos Lemma. I'm the co-founder and CEO of iceaddis. iceaddis is like the first tech incubator in Ethiopia. We started in 2011. And I'm also have a background in technology. I study computer science, and I also have a lot of interest in edutech. I've been working on a research project with MIT before, so there's a lot of background around technology and entrepreneurship.
I see. Oh, so you are the first one who established a tech incubator in Ethiopia back to 2011. Yeah. So at that time, what I might imagine is that it would be very difficult to. So what was it look like in the tech ecosystem back then?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question because to give you a context, in Ethiopia in 2011, our internet penetration was 0.4%.
Oh.
Even in 2010, when we think about opening iceaddis, it was 0.1%. So almost nobody has internet. So it's a little bit of crazy idea to start a technology hub without even having internet. But I think we know that being the first one in the market will give us. First, we learn a lot and then we can also set a standard how it will look like. So we have a lot of conversation with the government. We have a lot of conversation with the private sector and other stakeholders about the role of startups in the economy like Ethiopia. There is a huge amount of people here, and then Ethiopia is highly involved in agriculture, so other sectors are not performing very well. One of the reasons is because there is not enough infrastructure. So there is no telecommunication sector working very well, and then people are not also connected. But I think that's been changed now through time. And even though there's a lot of challenge in the beginning, especially in terms of raising money and getting product and market fit within that very low infrastructure, I think now everyone is talking about this, so
it's getting better.
It's getting better.
So it's been nearly a decade. Now it's about to come to 2020. And so how much has changed in the ecosystem?
A lot. So just from the infrastructure aspect, now we have around 63-64% of mobile penetration. So there are most people, even farmers, a lot of farmers who have mobile phone. Cool. We have the internet penetration 17%. 2019. I think that will reach at least 20 20 million people will have internet in next year, and that's already was under 1 DAO or half of Kenya. Like more or less, like a lot of people actually have access to reliable internet. And also from the ecosystem side, there is ease of doing business. The government is very open up for new kind of businesses, and they invited investors and startups to engage in solving problems. The media landscape is also changing a little bit, and most importantly, the mindset is shift in the ecosystem. Like there are so many people now believe that they can build companies.
Cool. And so in terms of the startups, I believe that Ethiopian entrepreneurs and startup teams, they are quite talented. And what can you add value to the ecosystem and to provide help to the local startups?
So like you said, like there is a lot of talent. There are around 43 universities who are teaching computer science and engineering. So there are always new talents are coming from the university. And now we're actually looking at like how do we really like develop the businesses from these talents, and so to create like value. So in that regard, actually, like then we have like the incubation program, and we also like trying to advocate with the government doing business, so to make it easy for registration of a company, closing a company, less obstacle to run a company. I think in that regard we've done a lot of work, and then also the government also put a lot of like work in that. And there is also like a huge interest from the market size to absorb like this kind of product. So there's a demand. Now it's time like really like how do we supply the right kind of product and services to the market, which is really like now the middle income is increasing and people are demanding products and services.
And in terms of the market development, so what sectors are developing faster and promising now in Addis in Ethiopia?
So I think like there are a few sectors that are actually really like promising now. One is fintech. Fintech is becoming big because the financial sector is opening up. On one hand, on the technology sector is also opening up. So it's a very good match. Now it's a very good match. And then the second is like local services are coming more strongly because the local manufacturers, they need retailers, they need actually like a marketplace, and the consumers also wants to have like more reliable and experience in getting like the right specification of products. So I think something like something related with service or e-commerce. I think e-commerce is still too early, but I think it's always good to be like the big one in the market first, right? And so these sectors are actually coming in. The other big sectors are the agri-tech and education tech. Also becoming bigger.
And I noticed that the young people are really passionate about learning English. Sure. And so most people speak Amharic here, right? Okay.
That's also kind of the challenge, like in Kenya, Nigeria, even like countries like Egypt, like they have like big languages, like either English or Arabic. In Ethiopia, like Amharic is very much like local language, right? So we don't have that much big English speakers. So you don't hear much about what's going on in Ethiopia because these are not talked in the mainstream media. So this is also something that we need to work around. How do we actually teach media to like kind of create buzz and create value for entrepreneurs.
Sure. And I have another question about the Chinese influence. And because you are a very famous guy in the local access, and also you are exposed to many Chinese partners. So according to your understanding, so what can a Chinese investor add value to the local ecosystem?
So I mean, many actually. So I mean, first of all, I mean, to be honest, still like the Chinese are one of the most experienced investors in Africa. I believe at least in Ethiopia we've seen like good opportunity already. But what's missing is like you don't have like experienced like investors coming from China on the technology sector. So I really believe like in one hand, a lot of the Chinese investors have like quite extensive experience in investing in technology like markets like China, which can actually be also very well matching into the
China is a developing country.
Yeah, exactly. So some of the challenges already the investors already solve in China.
Yes.
That can also work here. Cool. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is also like Ethiopia is opening up now. There's a lot of like interest in pulling like new investments. So to be the first one, always actually have a chance, right? Because when everything is open, of course everyone will come. So, but now like not many people are coming, so it's a good opportunity to be on the first. So once everyone's coming, then we actually like add a lot of value. And the third thing is, of course, more than money. Also, like we need experience, like how this thing is actually, especially the business market, like the product market fit works, and then also on the operation level works. I think we need that experience. And mentorship and advice from the Chinese investors. So that's the Chinese investors can do a lot in that regard.
Cool. And can you share with us the big goal in the next year in 2020?
Yeah, 2020. So one of the things like we want is like Ethiopia is very big and everyone is of course in Addis. We are also trying to expand in other regions in Ethiopia, like trying to actually really like source new ideas and new talent from everywhere. That's the approach. So we want to do like nationwide competitions. We want to set up hubs in different places, especially with the government model. So we want to do the PPP, the public-private partnership model. We're already talking with the government. They like the idea. And the other thing is like really like how do we create like value with especially with angel networks and others from overseas, because sometimes the investors locally there are not many. There's no like angel investment or anything like that yet. And if there are some VCs, they are focusing a lot on agro processing and stuff, which is like the case. So now we are really trying to actually like find who's like knowledgeable to make like technology work in countries like Ethiopia. So I think this kind of partnership, especially like talking to you and talking with potential like Chinese investors in the future, will bring a lot of value this year. And and then the last, of course, we want to have unicorn, right? So we want to actually have like companies that we keep example, like this Ethiopian company, like make it international stage. I think that's the plan.
Cool. And I hope that all your plan come true in next year.
Thank you very much. I think this collaboration things will
definitely. And I will introduce more and more Chinese investors to come to Ethiopia and to make good connections.
So when we meet the Chinese investors, tell them that there's a lot of opportunities.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Right. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.